Hello there, viewers of High Television. You're welcome back to the program. We kickstart this first and last segment of the program with the paper from Limbe Donson, the son of Norbert Wasso, says Biawo's international community over Cameroon's UN General Assembly presidency during his New Year wishes that was accorded him some days back. Get to read that story on that paper of the Sun for today. New Year wishes, Kabayege Jibril steps Nyat again. Steps Nyat again. That is what you can find on that said paper for today. Defense Minister reprimands soldiers for military honors to Bamum Sultan. CDC tender, both English and French. Get to read them on the Sun newspaper for today. From the Sun, we cross over to Ndian Division with Cameroon Echoes. It talks of Dikome Baloué Council adopts CFA France 613,950,000 CFA France for development projects. Get to read more on that publication of William Diba Etwe. At budgetary session, Kumbo Abedimo Council focuses on improving populations' living conditions, job creation, establishing palm plantations. Get to read more on that publication for today. Boya Paramount King urges new notables to work for the development and peace of the town of Boya. At 2024 New Year wishes ceremony, Isangele Mayor Magdalene Pundi extends Indian wishes to First Lady Chantal Biya. We come over to the next publication for this morning. The Actual talks of Ashi Basilike III, Cameroon's Minister of Small Medium-Sized Enterprises, Social Economy and Handicraft, who talks of the dynamism of the youth entrepreneurship in the country. You can find more on the Actual newspaper for today. Financing of project BGFI Bank Cameroon alongside MUFID Union engages for some key financing of major projects in the country. Electricity sector in new reinforces investments as for 2024 regarding the distribution of electricity in Cameroon. And we cross over to La Voix du Centre for today. La Voix du Centre talks of the electoral list. It says why CPDM needs to be afraid of massive electoral registration from Cameroonians. You can find more on La Voix du Centre newspaper for today. United Nations Organization, it talks of Cameroon campaigns for the presidency of the 79th General Assembly President of the United Nations Organizations. We move over to Cameroon Tribune for today. It talks of the last test of the Indomitable Lions to Cote d'Ivoire 2024. Get to read that story on that said paper for today. Rice Productions, the paper report on strikes of 2023 in the Northwest region as far as rice production or cultivation is concerned. New Year wishes, it talks of PM John Gute takes turn today at the Star Building of the Republic. We crossed over to homage paid to late Professor Joseph Owona. You can find more on the pages of 24 to 25 on Cameroon Tribune for today. Quotidian emissions for this morning talks of African Cup of Nations 2023 in Ivory Coast. It talks of the anxiety that is gripping Cameroon's ambassador to Cote d'Ivoire. Get to read more on that said paper for today. Teachers strike action. The teachers syndicate known as OTS Onatro Sepote, a report on some teachers who are still hampering that they should engage more on strike action as far as schools and 2024 is concerned. We take you now to the Guardian Post. The Guardian Post for this morning talks of bittersweet memories of Anglophones. Bittersweet memories Anglophones have of Professor Joseph Owona. The Minister of Secondary Education, Nalova Lyunga, it talks of Nalova Lyunga insists on technical education key to technical to technology development in the country. SDF Chairman Joshua Osi accuses regime baron of embezzling 8,000 billion CFA francs. We take you now to this other story that talks of tackling food insecurity. Emergency project to combat food crisis adopts 38 billion CFA francs as running budget for 2024. We move away from the Guardian Post. We take you now to Nigeria with the Nation. The Nation for today talks of better Edo faces EFCC grilling, and former Minister of Nigeria accuses of embezzling the sum of 37 billion naira as EFCC squeezes ex-minister Sadia. Get to read that story on that said paper for today. And UBA crosses 1 trillion naira capital mark in Nigeria, making the United Bank for Africa the third biggest bank in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We take you now to Cameroon with M4 Asho. M4 Asho for this morning talks of the express route of Douala Yaoundé. It says the Ministry of Public Works kickstarts the planning of execution of the second phase of the Douala Yaoundé express route. That is M4 Martin, not M4 Asho. And away from M4 Martin, let's take you now to M4 Asho. M4 Asho comes to the tribute paid by Professor Owonangini to the venerated professor at law. That is the late former Minister of National Education, Secretary General of the Presidency of the Republic, Joseph Owona, who died in a hospital in Bordeaux, France. We crossed over to Innovation for today. Innovation talks of Clean City Douala. It says 300 women have been sensitized to engage the fight of Clean City Douala, according to Innovation newspaper for today. We take you to the production of soap. It says the Azo group of company trains more qualified personnel as far as the production of soap is concerned. Get to read that story on that said paper for today. Away from that, we take you now to next door Mutation of Thierry Diaga for this day. Talks of government. It says Dion Gute is 5 years as Cameroon's Prime Minister. You can find more on that said paper for today. The paper is interested in the Martinez Zogo affair. The paper titles that as the memory of Martinez Zogo that keeps on pouring as very soon he'll be made. Very soon will clock a year after his abduction and subsequent killing by yet to be identified persons. Get to read that story on Mutation newspaper for today. From that Mutation newspaper, we take you to Les Source report on the Minister of Public Health, Manaona Malachi, will be receiving New Year wishes to some close and external collaborators of his set ministry in no distant time. Get to read that story on that said paper for today. The ordeal that faces travelers traveling using the Gaundere Garua stretch of roads, that is what Les Source is preoccupied for today with. And with from less source, we crossed over to Ecofinance for today. Ecofinance talks of the Balam iron ore Nalabe iron ore deposit. It talks of the touch of the Minister of Transport, Narcis Ngale Bibihi. Get to read that story on that said paper for today. Away from Ecofinance newspaper, viewers of our television, we take you now to Reality Place for today. It talks of after his national tour to the 10 regions of the country, the Secretary General of the Civilian Political Party, Jean Kwete, prescribed to what Paul Biya needs to do in the weeks ahead. Get to read that story on that said paper. Tribute paid to late Joseph Owona by Narcis Moale Kombi, Minister of Sports and Physical Education. You can find more on that paper for today. The Guardian for this day talks of scramble to dear victims of post office fraud scandal. In that said paper, New Nation gets to read more on the UK tabloid of the Guardian for today. From the Guardian, we take you to Daily Mail. Daily Mail talks of bombshell new pictures of partying of expense Padufield Island as court papers claim tycoon had sex tapes of Baroness Clinton and Prince Andrew. You can find more on that British tabloid for today. We move back to the country with the next tabloid for today, Code du Parlement. For today, it talks of a revisit of the 2023 November session of Parliament as the interim Minister of Mines and Technology, Focalitus Gentry, sets the roadmap for 2024. You can find more on Eco du Parlement for today. From Eco du Parlement, we move over to the next paper. That's the sports paper Punch Sport Extra for today talks of Guinea 2, Nigeria 0. It says balls for Eagles, and the paper went further to say angry as ex players fan knock Pizarro's men after another Luxla display. Kylian Mbappe denies Madrid rumors, and in that said paper, Napoli wonder boy Victor Osimhen. The paper reports on Adebayor backs Osimhen to shine in the English Premier League. You can find more on that paper for today. We take you now to the Punch newspaper for this morning. The Punch newspaper for this morning have as lead story. It says Tinubu orders 2 trillion naira poverty relief funds prop. Edo faces EFCC today. Get to read that story on the Punch newspaper for today. Happy birthday to an achiever by excellence. You can find more on that said paper of from Nigerian extraction. Get to read more on that said paper for today. Away from that, I think we'll cross over to the municipal updates for today. Municipal update says Kumba Mokonje land dispute, historical documents justifies by 4 ownership of the disputed piece of land. You get to read that story on that said paper for today. Tackle developmental needs. It says Benakuma Council budgets the sum of 900 million CFA francs as budget for 2024. Widekum Council plans big for New Year with CFA francs 761 million. And we take a bow from that paper with Limbe City Mayor Paul